have to lie. I wanted this love to survive. Now when I look in your I feel paralyzed.
I'm just taking this and applying this all over the entire lid. Now this base is a little bit too dark on my skin tone, about a half a shade, but it's not really going to be seen. I'm just using this so that the eyeshadows have something to stick to. So next, now this is optional, but just to sort of pop that Marsala color or to make it kind of stick, I am going to put down, this is Ben Nye's cream shadow, and it's called, I think it's CS3 character shadow. I have no idea. This is what it looks like, but it's this sort of a, well, Marsala color. It's like a taupey, mauvey kind of color. If you do not have this, do not stress. I got this from someone as just a little bit of a gift, so that's why I'm using it, because I have it. But if you don't have it, don't stress. You can simply use like a little bit of, maybe even like a taupey lipstick or like this color lipstick, just lightly all over the lid, just to get the same effect, or just skip it in general. So I'm taking up another synthetic brush and I'm applying all over the lid. I've actually worn this as a lipstick and it worked very well. Right, so I'm sort of rounding that off. Doesn't have to be too perfect, because then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to put it a little bit higher than my crease, because I do have hooded lids. So for this color to give me the effect that I want, I do need to carry it up a little bit further. And I'm going to just use my finger and blend that out, just so that we don't have a harsh line where that color sort of ends. And I'm just going back in. Firstly, I'm going to take my Anastasia banana powder, or any light shadow you have will work. It doesn't have to be this. Again, I'm using what I have at hand, and I'm just going to take this and apply right underneath the brow, and a little bit, bringing it just a little bit down, and I'm also touching the inner corner here. I do this to keep the eye nice and bright, and it also helps to sort of keep, how can I explain it? When I put my transition color, it's not like a harsh line. It gives the transition color something to blend out into, if that makes sense. So hopefully that does. Right, so after I'm done with the banana powder, I am going to take this color, and it is actually a loose color by Ambrosia Cosmetics. It looks like this, and it's this sort of, it's like a pinky browny kind of shade, and it's called, I believe, let's see if we can get that to focus, Teddy Bear. So I'm gonna take this on a blending brush and just run that into my transition color area. Now because I put down the banana powder there, it is going to make it a little bit easy for this color to be blended out. Now I take this from the very edge here. Now I go up a little bit higher, again because my eyes are hooded. So I do need, if you see me going higher in my videos, it is because if I keep that within the crease, my color is not going to show. Now the next color that I am going into, now this is Nudetude by the Balm, and I'm going to pick up this color called Sexy. It doesn't have to be this particular shade, not this particular shade, this particular brand. It is basically like a reddish, a brown with a lot of red in it. Can you see that? Yes, almost like a purpley. If you have Makeup Geeks bitten, any sort of shadow that is like a brown with a little hint of like a purpley red will work. So I am going to pick that up on a blending brush like this and just place that directly into the crease. So what we're doing here is we're essentially just building up the amount of color that we have, starting first with our transition color and then moving on to our darker colors as we go on. Now I try to keep this confined mainly to the crease area. I am bringing it around the eye, almost like I'm hugging the ball of the eye, but I'm keeping the majority of that right at the outer corner, and I do bring it down onto the lid just a little bit in that corner there, in the outer corner here. And it really doesn't matter if it's messy or anything at this point in time. We just want to kind of lay color down. And I am just going to start blending that upwards just a little bit, but not too much. So this is what we are left with at this point in there. Now I am going to use, I do not know if they make this still, but I do know that the hip duos are still around, and a lot, mine is kind of beat up looking, so y'all have to kind of bear with me. This is one of the L'Oreal hip duos, and I believe this is called Sculpted. Is that what it's called? Focus. Right. So it is this one that has that sort of, well, it has the Marsala color here, and then it has like a deep plummy purple that's very, very similar to MAC's Beauty Marked, I believe it is. Yes, it's a gorgeous duo, and it's perfect for this look. So if you can get your hands on this, that's good. If you cannot, the shadow that we are looking for is basically like this. So anything that has that sort of almost like a burgundy plummy kind of look to it is going to work for this. Up a brush, a flat brush, a small flat brush. Now I use a small brush because my eyelids are very small to begin with, and I am going to pick that up. Now we are using the lighter of the two colors, and I am going to pick it up on that brush and apply it on the lid. Now you don't want it to be a soupy and I am going to use from that same nudetude palette, I'm going to use Standoffish, which is this one here. It's sort of like a beigey with a little hint of gold to it, and I'm just going to use this to highlight my inner corner here, just like that. Now I do take my highlights pretty far up because I do get some darkness right up in this sort of hollow here, and I just like the effect of that. You don't have to do what I do, however, but I kind of tend to like how that kind of catches light in there, and it just reflects, and it makes my eyes look wider and brighter and more awake. Smaller sort of tapered, it's a blending brush, but it is a tapered blending brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the same blackish purpley color that's in the little L'Oreal palette here, and I'm popping that right along the outer corner of the eye. What I do is I kind of poke the brush in, and I feel for that kind of hollow, and I put the brush there, and that's kind of my guide as to where this color should go. So I just kind of lay the color here first. Now you don't want to take this color too far just yet. We want to kind of blend it out because black is a very difficult color to work with, and you want to be very, very careful. So little bit by little bit, I'm only keeping this in the outer corner of the eye right here, and maybe just like a quarter of a way up into the crease area, like right there. That's where I'm keeping this. Going back to that other brush that we use this sort of crease color with, and just again blend out the edge of that black using the same brush. So what we're essentially doing is we're just going to be adding color. When you do a smoky eye, the main thing especially with colors that have like red in it like this and purple. The main thing with these is that you have to blend. If you do not blend, you will end up looking like you have been in a bar fight and somebody punched you in the eye. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a brush and just sweep away all that excess powder that we had underneath here. And like as I told you, if you use the correct powder, it's not going to make the under eye any darker, not darker, but any like creasier, if that's a word, underneath here. So the first thing I want to do is just go in. This is my L'Oreal. You all know I love this, the smoldering chubby pencil thing, and it's in black. And I am going to use this on my waterline, and I'm lining it pretty heavily. And then what I do is I will take a small smudge brush and use that to smudge out the pencil. And I'm smudging it back this way as well too. Now when I get to the inner corner here, I like to do this little bit of a, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's like a little bit of a flick on the inner corner where the liner doesn't go straight in. You don't have to do this. I just like doing this because I find that it does, again, open up my eyes, and I add a little bit of the same highlight to the top there on the inside here, and I find that it just opens up my eyes. You don't have to do this. You could take yours all the way in and follow your lash line. Right, so once I have that, I go back into that sort of a darkish purple color, the dark blacky purple, and I kind of use the same brush and press that over where that is. Now I do pull out the edge a little bit here just so that it can be blended out that way, but I'm essentially setting that black everywhere that I place the black pencil on the lower lash line. I'm setting it with this shadow. Right, so then I go back in using my reddish brown, the color Sexy from Nudetude, this one here, and I take that on a pencil brush or any small brush that can easily sort of blend out the edge there. And again, I am just going along the edge of that shadow that I just placed. And then lastly, I am taking just a tiny little bit of the original Marsala color on a MAC pencil brush. It doesn't have to be a MAC brush, it can be any other brush. I'm just picking up a little bit of that and just running it right along the edge so that we catch a little bit of that color. Do my liner. I am using Rimmel's Glam Eyes Professional Liquid Liner, which looks like this, but I'm not using the brush that it comes with. I am using a separate little brush. I think this is from Tarte Cosmetics. I got this with the Tarte's liner, and I love this brush. Again, you don't have to use this. You can simply use the liner, the brush that the liner itself comes with. It's a pretty good brush, but with my lashes, it always just ends up getting the liner everywhere, so I find a little bit of an angle, and just in general I love the Tarte brush because I just find it more useful to me. So I put a little bit out on the back of my hand, and I'm picking it up on the Tarte brush, and I am going to just, number one, bring my mirror closer so that I can see, and just line the eye and wing it out a little bit. I'll be very honest, when I saw the look with the liner, I probably, if I had to do it again, I probably would not have lined the eye. I would have probably just popped on a pair of lashes and left it like that, because I think I liked it more that way. But of course, whatever I do to this eye, I have to now do to this eye. So you can try it both ways if you wish. So I'm just going to start along the inner corner here. Little by little, and I'm lining very close to my natural lash line. And then coming to the end here, I'm going to make a flick out and then come in and connect it back to my eye. I am going to have a video coming up very soon that is kind of an in-depth liner video where we talk about gel, pencil, liquid, things like that, and the ways that you can use them. So be sure to keep your eyes on the lookout for that one. Good, so that is my wing all done there. And to finish off the eyes, I'm just going to apply some mascara and then some false eyelashes. The lashes that I'm using are this, I have no idea what this brand is. I think it's called Cara, but it's number 747, and let me tell you something, this is fantastic. That brand on the whole is amazing when it comes to lashes, and they're so easy to apply. So I'm just using some random, I think this is my Rimmel Lash Accelerator mascara, just to get a little bit of mascara onto the lashes. And I'm also doing the bottom lash line as well. I really did want like warm, just golden skin, just so that you can see this glow like from a mile away. So what I'm going to do is firstly take, this is my Wet n Wild Fergie collection bronzer. You know, you guys know, you know I love this. And I'm just going to pick that up on a brush. Doesn't matter which brush as long as it does the trick. And I'm just going to sweep this along my cheekbone, just warming up that area. I'm not creating like a very hard line. I just want to sort of warm up the face and just glow it up, bronze it up a little bit. And I am taking this like up to my temples, up here, very, very loosely. I'm dragging that along the chin. Now normally I would not use something that has sheen to it to do any sort of contouring, but it's now 12 midnight and my husband and my son is sleeping, so my contour product, which I forgot in the room, is there, and I'm not going to put on the light and wake them up, so this will have to do. So we'll pretend that that part there was matte bronzer, but anyways, it'll contribute to the glow. So I'm just doing that just to warm up the face a little bit, just to give me a little bit of a glow, almost like a sun-kissed. I don't want a very heavily contoured kind of look. Right, so once I've warmed that up, this is going to act almost like a transition color for the blush that I'm going to be using. I'm not using any contour, so I'm using this blush as a contour, and I've used this a million times in my videos before. This is Sacha's Claret blush, and it is gorgeous. It is like, mine is broken. I've patched the damn thing back together. I'm so cheap I wouldn't buy a new one. So yeah, I'm gonna use this on a nice angled brush and just use it like a contour almost, just to give a pop of this sort of berry color, because I want it to be a very berry and golden look. Good, so starting from the back here, very, very lightly do this. This blush is really like crazily pigmented. You don't want like a streak of burgundy down your cheek there. It's going to look a little bit unnatural, so you want to be very light-handed with this. So I am starting from the very back here where my ear meets the body, and I'm just sort of stroking that forward. I'm not going back, and you see me doing this, but I'm just touching, coming down, and I'm just lifting, going back. So what I'm doing is I'm essentially kind of carving out the cheek in this motion, just one sweeping motion. So again, I'm starting there, and I am taking it, I round out my bone here because I do have a fuller face. I am plus size, so you don't have to do it the way that I am, but you just want to kind of do your cheekbone. If you don't know where that is, it's that hollow when you make the fishy face. Good, so I'm just lightly sort of brushing it up now, just the tips of the brush. I'm not splatting that brush down on my face. I'm just blushing it up to give it a little bit of a blend out, right? And the next thing that I'm going to do is use a highlight. Now I'm using 2 highlights today only because I can and because I really love these. One of them is like my holy grail highlight of life. This one is one that I've blogged about quite recently. I think this is the hard candy one in Tropics. It is fantastic. Oh my god, I'm telling you, I got this at Pennywise, people. Amaze balls. You see that? Do you see the glow on this shit? It's like ridiculous. So yes, I am going to just grab a brush. Doesn't matter. I think I have an elf tapered brush that I was using for this, and I'm just going to take that and dust it right along here. Like if you trace your orbital bone, which is this hollow here, when you get to here, which is the highest point that it gets to, that's where you want to place this highlight. So I'm just going to grab that, and I like to kind of dust it just again to curve out the cheek. You do not have to take yours that high, but I like to glow. If you do have oily skin, be a little bit careful with this. So I would just keep it only in this area here, because if you go too heavy on it, it can make you look very shiny. I am very dry skin, so I can get away with as much highlight as I feel like wearing. And the only other places I tap this is right along the cupid's bow here, and I do have a little bit on my nose bridge and the tip of my nose. So that's one highlight, and I sort of bring that pretty low down, almost as if my blush, that contour and that is just kind of meeting halfway, and you can kind of see a line there. But then to tie everything in, I am going to add just a tiny little bit of blush. Again, I know this blush is expensive, so I don't expect you to go use this or to purchase this. This is, I think it's Orgasm by NARS. So yeah, I love this blush, but a good dupe for this is Dolce Pink, I think by Ambrosia Cosmetics. They're mineralized, they're mineral blushes, and I'm picking this up on a what is this, Real Techniques, a multitask brush, and I'm just popping that on the apple of the cheek and then blending back almost like where the middle of those two lines met, because that is where I want the color to be sort of diffused. So right there we have 3 products, but I want them to look like one. And then the last thing that I do, just again an additional step that you don't have to do, I love an intense highlight. This is my holy grail highlight. This is a loose highlight that I got from Halener Rustique, and it's called Glitsen Luminizer. Oh my god, I pray to God that she has more of this in stock, because I do not want to see the day that I run out of this. Good. So just as an additional step, I pick up a little bit of that Glitsen highlight on a small fluffy blending brush, and right here, just only right here, is where I am going to place that little bit of highlight right there. And it just, oh my god, it's just gorgeous. Just right there, not too far down, not too anywhere. And then what I do when I'm finished with my cheek, I take the brush that I used to apply my powder, and then I just go in and I smooth over everything. And this ensures that I don't have products that are looking sort of separated from each other. So that is going to kind of tone down the intensity, but I want that intensity, so I'm going back in. But anyways, right, so yeah, that is just going to kind of tone everything nicely down and just make sure that everything is nicely blended together. And I particularly wanted to do a dark lip with this, because I think that like a purpley dark lip, the lip color that I'm using is Melt Cosmetics Dark Room, and it is a very gorgeous matte burgundy plummy purple color, and I'm pairing that with Colorpop's Bitchette lip liner and they go beautifully together. I do have one lip balm on my lips that I've had on from since I've done my foundation, so I'm just going to use my fingers and wipe off the excess, and I'm just going to line my lips and fill it in using this color. Good. So this is the look with the lips all done, and it works this sort of purpley I don't know what you call that, burgundy color works really well with the Marsala color on the eyes, and it's just gorgeous to have like a really dark smoky eye and a very dark lip. Another option that you could use, and I know that you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about this, I got this at JD's in Gasparilla Mall. For everybody who's going to be asking me where I got it, this is Wet n Wild Megalast liquid lip color, and this is in the color High Pitched Wine. I love this color. This would also be a really good alternative. I'm just going to swatch it for this particular look. Now it is not as dark as this, but it is slightly lighter, but it's a nice good color payoff, and this lipstick stays on forever. So basically this is the look. Hopefully you like it, and if you did, please let me know in the comments below. I am looking to film a few videos. My son is home on vacation, so I do have a little bit of extra time, and I want to get some videos filmed. If you guys have a particular topic that you want me to talk about, or anything in particular that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. It is a little bit difficult for me to do talk through videos like this because I live in a house with so many people, and I don't really have like a personal space that I film in. I film in my dining room, so literally everybody is just walking past, and I have to wait till everybody's asleep to be able to film a talk through video. So it poses a little bit of difficulty for me. As much as I love doing, you know, my favorites and my monthly favorites and all of that, difficult for me to do so because I do have to wake all hours in the night just to be able to film. So I will try to get that up and running. Hopefully we'll try to get our favorites going as well, and let me know if you guys want to see anything in particular down below. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, and please share it on your Google Plus, on your Facebook. Let someone else see it. Tag somebody in the video that you think would love to see this look. So thank you again for watching. You guys be safe and be blessed.